Another thing I notice is people will literally take you not telling them your business personally and resent you. And this often happens in dynamics that are codependent or just toxic, where the other person needs you to live out your life to tell them how to live theirs. And should they not get the details and the ins and outs of what you're doing on a day-to-day, or they learn something about you that maybe you told somebody else first, they're going to take it as a personal attack and threat to their life. You'll notice they start getting possessive over you and territorial, even over knowledge about you. And that's when you know you really just have to distance from that person and allow them to find themselves more before they can continue being in relationship with you, whether on a romantic, platonic, or even acquaintance level. Sometimes you peep it early before you and the person can even begin to develop.
If you think we're done, we're not done. We're going to get in some comments too, because some comments was spitting on that, and then I'll get on some of my own clarifications on that as well. Granted, all subjects may vary, and it depends, and it's nuanced. But for some cases, for some, they need to know what you're doing so they can keep gossiping and hating on you. Yeah, sometimes. Hold on, continuing. Well, I guess the ethers just don't want me to share no more of the post. But anyways, of my own experience, I can say this shit can be facts for sure. And we've noticed this with people that have narcissistic tendencies and or ways of being a monitoring spirit and just trying to keep tabs on you because they want to continue to have access to you. One, they may want to have ways to copy off of what you're doing, and or they may be just doing that shit for whatever of their insecurities of comparison between you and their lives, so they can have a one-up and weaponize information. And I'll give you an example furthermore of this too, like an example. We've had familial people, parents, businesses, etc., friends, romantic interests, everything else and the like. More specific, familial speaking, we've had our father, right? He would always be someone that was hyper controlling and is my way or the highway. Now, to an extent, if it's a genuine grounded masculine figure that has embodied his masculine energy and feminine energy, right, of his brain, then okay, like some things can be, what's the word to say? It can be leveled with. But in this instance, what I'm talking about is more so shit like, tell me everything that sometimes may be sensitive information that they don't even fucking need to know, especially like in regards to like financially speaking. And what we dealt with as being a parentified kid of essentially having to parent our parents because they had arrested development based off of their parents, and et cetera, epigenetic shit. We recognized that at some point, because I ended up starting to lie about information just to hear what the fuck they was going to say and what they was going to tell me back. And the results were astonishing. One time I lied about a certain detail, and then he then confessed to me in my face how he was talking behind my back with another family member, hoping essentially that I had whatever the information that I was giving him to be what I was lying to him about and saying that it was negative. And I was like, clocked. Another example, we've had this with, another side of my family, right? With our grandmother. They'll sit there, and if we tell them information about certain things that we are doing to progress forward, or hell, we got to a point where we stopped because we said, we hear that you talk shit about everybody else, so of course you're going to do the same thing to us. I recognized the dynamic. And then once I called it out for what it was, she started to now act passive aggressive and do things to try to indirectly punish me because she felt entitled to hear any and everything about me. I would even notice sometimes that she would very covertly and subtly place herself around me if I'm like, because we're a person that does soliloquies at times too. A soliloquy meaning you're speaking to yourself aloud in a way that is like, you're processing something. She would place herself around me to hear what I was processing, to be able to, one, be nosy, but two, be able to derail my efforts on me moving forward to get the fuck away from being around them, which was rooted in indeed security and codependence and like I said, enmeshment, because what enmeshment signals and signifies is individuals that are insecure that attempt to use you as a regulating force to their nervous system, whether directly or indirectly, right? And not having any boundaries. And if you try to uphold boundaries, they take offense to that and they look at you like you're fucking retarded when you say, hey, you're trying to gaslight. You are attempting to manipulate right now. You're attempting to do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. What's up with this? Now they all pissed off and now they want to try to do things to, you know what I'm saying? Now, Darvo, defend, argue, reverse victim and offender, sign language, shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. And finally, and lovingly, the triple D's, defend, deny, and deflect. Okay? And for us, what we are to do, 444 as I say this, what we're not supposed to do is jade. This is their shit of what they do, right? We are supposed to do to not engage in sign language, what I just said before. Jade, justify, do not try to prove your choices to someone who wants to fight you and is not trying to be in unison. Argue, do not attempt to go back and forth with these people. Because I've even noticed one time, I noticed them trying to manipulate me one time, and I just sat there and just looked at them in their eyes. And then I noticed, I literally heard them say, yeah, come on, give it to me. I'm not sure how far I'll go with that, but I said, don't jade. Justify, do not try to prove your choices to someone that is committed to fighting you. Don't argue with them and try to go to a back and forth debate, because arguing is one way people can siphon from you of your time and your energy and your effort, right? And give them validation. If you don't argue with people that clearly know what the fuck is going on, then they have to sit there with their emotions that they're trying to avoid. I noticed one time, while I noticed them attempting to manipulate me, I said, you're doing this. Why are you doing this? And I just stare at them. And they don't say anything. They say, yes, give it to me. That's them saying, yes, help regulate me by you passing back and forth energy. Anyways, D, don't defend. Don't try to protect yourself against unfair attacks or baiting. Why would you try to defend yourself on someone that is using manipulative tactics? Because the thing is, for manipulation to work, you have to be insecure or off of your stance and be reactive like them. When you respond instead calmly, they have nowhere to throw that energy besides hold it within themselves, which is supposed to happen in the first place for them to grow if they so choose to. And then lastly, don't explain. Do not over-explain your reasons, as toxic people use details as ammunition. What the fuck was this whole conversation we just said about, right? They'll try to usually, and not all the time, it depends, but they'll attempt to weaponize information against you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to say to not, explain and shit like that, because I'll give some nuance here. Sometimes, at least with me, I can speak to say, like, I'm someone that is predicated off of clarity, off of fairness, genuinely speaking, and fair, equitable, reasonable aspects of any dynamic I'm in, of relationships, whether platonic, romantic, business, familial, or anything else in between. Transparency, in my opinion, says, I didn't even have to tell you this information, but I'm telling you this information because I care about you enough for you to be aware enough of this, so we can have a more close connection. And people who are also open like you and that are transparent like you in a healthy sense, that honor your boundaries, they utilize that information to be able to take mental note so they don't essentially cross your boundary. Now, it's different from like tiptoeing around shit. That's when it gets into like the, in my personal opinion, toxic lane and the shit that we just talked about. Because sometimes some people can try to use ways of like phrases, actions, and things that of that nature to say like, oh yeah, don't do that around us. When in actuality, it's has nothing to do with you, and it's just them attempting to avoid whatever, this word right here, connotation, which refers to the cultural, social, or emotional meaning attached to a word that goes beyond the literal fucking definition. Okay, denotation. Someone that is more on the insecure side of shit, they see you doing certain things from a connotation standpoint when they don't even really know what that word or the action of what you're saying really means, because they don't know enough about themselves, which don't have anything to do with you. Denotation is more so, like I said, on the secure attachment side, that I would say, which is someone utilizing that information to say, oh, okay, this is what you're saying by what you mean, and you also mean what you say, so let me take that into consideration so we can respect you more, because by default, we can extend that respect because we have self-respect for our fucking selves. You see the fucking difference? So this is just some different ways of how that can be, right? And for you to just be cognizant and aware of, to be able to embody honoring yourself, because how you treat yourself is how others will treat you. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And finally speaking, what you allow in your reality is what will be. So if you have people around you that's doing shit like that, it's because you're, to some extent, allowing that process to happen, which is where we can take our accountability, right? Even if you're not doing those same nefarious things that they're doing. That's nefarious to yourself if you're not honoring when you're like, hey, this is making me uncomfortable. And they're like, I don't give a fuck. Well, how about this? You don't get my attention, my energy no more. How about that? And now all of a sudden people know how to make sense of what the fuck you say. So yes, have a great day.